when you feel calm and grounded, you make better choices. You take more meaningful action, you follow through, you solve problems more easily, right? You step into this version of yourself that is closer to the version you want to be. Your business and your life will benefit directly from that. Welcome to How to Quit Your Job, the podcast for moms ready to ditch the 9 to 5 and build a life and business they love. I'm your host, Jenna Reichel. Let's go. Hi, mom friends. I'm so glad you're here with me today. As always, tomorrow is Thanksgiving here in the US, and this week can be one of the more tender, more exhausting, but also beautiful and a little bit overwhelming weeks of the entire year for us moms. There's a lot coming at us. And I know that you're probably juggling, like me, a shorter work week. Kids are home from school. Maybe there's some travel involved. I know that we're going home or back home to Maryland to see family. If you are hosting and cooking the meal, God bless you. All the things, the family dynamics, all these things. And I know that for a lot of you, your own dreams and desires are on your mind and you can't stop thinking about them. And then on top of all of that, there's sort of this expectation that we are supposed to be extra grateful this time of year. And I know that it's really hard to feel grateful when you're running on empty. And often, you moms who listen to this podcast are also carrying a lot of quiet frustration because you are longing. You're grateful for your life, grateful for your job, grateful for your paycheck, and also craving a different way of living. I'll never forget a mom I talked to a few months ago who said to me, I can't keep living this way. Ugh. So it's that tension can make gratitude feel so much harder. And so today, I want to offer you something that isn't forced gratitude or fake positivity, but it's a really awesome tool that can gently shift your emotional state and help you reconnect with what's working in your life so that you actually feel gratitude. Last week, I went into my coaching session with a couple of quick updates, not even updates, more like these tiny bullet points that I almost didn't share because they felt like not a big deal to me. And my coach leaned in and she asked questions and she wanted to know more. And she celebrated harder than I did. Something just literally cracked open, it felt like. And what I intended to share in 2 minutes turned into a full hour of celebrating wins that I normally brush off. My own growth, my clients' breakthroughs, the things I've built this year, the subtle shifts happening behind the scenes. For a full hour, I let myself name things that I've never paused to actually acknowledge. And it really felt like a rampage of celebration. And afterwards, I felt lighter, more confident, more grounded, and so much more spacious. And immediately I thought of what Jermaine Foley shared back in episode 20 of this podcast. The tool she uses called a Rampage of Appreciation. And what better time to talk about doing a Rampage of Appreciation than Thanksgiving week? So today I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to teach you how to do it. And don't worry, it's super simple. And I want to talk about the benefits of doing it so that you can explore it this week for yourself. Because what this tool does more than anything is create space and create openness and space for you to breathe and think differently and remember all the things that are working in your life and maybe your business if you've started it, so that you can create change from a place of wholeness instead of tension or not enoughness. And really, this tool is beneficial and helpful at any time. So I encourage you to not necessarily wait for the perfect moment to do it or to only do it during Thanksgiving holiday. But I do actually also want to talk about specific moments in your life and work where this tool becomes especially powerful. The kind of moments that I know you and every mom experience because I experienced them as well. So the first is when you're feeling overwhelmed and behind. We've all been there. When you're feeling overwhelmed and behind, it feels like, and it doesn't just feel like, you actually are juggling work and motherhood and household tasks and holiday prep and building a business. And it might feel like no matter what you're doing, something is slipping. And in these seasons, your brain becomes hyper focused on gaps, all the things that you didn't do or didn't finish or didn't follow through on, didn't start. When we have so much on our plate, we always are focusing on the things that we didn't do. And a rampage of appreciation will interrupt that pattern. The tool that I'm going to teach you will interrupt that pattern. It will gently shift your brain from what's missing to what's working, what's getting done. And when we start thinking about what's working and what's getting done, it doesn't necessarily make the to do list magically disappear. But what it does do is provides an energy shift that feels more celebratory and less tense. And from that place, you're able to get more done and not feel so tired doing all of the things. It's a quick appreciation for all the things that have gotten done, even if there are still a ton more things on the list. And that list is never ending. So we want to get into a good headspace for all the things we need to do. The second situation is when you're frustrated with your job and you want out. So many of my clients come to me wanting to escape corporate as fast as possible. And I get it. I've been there. I've talked plenty about escaping corporate. But when you're trying to escape something, like truly get away from it and run, everything feels urgent and pressured. You feel like I have to get out. I have to make this business work right now. I can't do this job one day more. And that urgency, it creates desperation, which leads to rushed decisions and burnt out actions. So in these cases, a rampage of appreciation really softens the urgency. It doesn't make you love your job. It helps you see the parts of it that give you stability and support while you build your business, while you are still in that role. I was just talking about this last week with a mom because it's a beautiful thing to start viewing your 9 to 5, your traditional role, whatever it is, as your ATM, the ATM that funds your business. I've talked about it before on this podcast. I'm an extremely risk averse, frugal person. So I would never encourage you to leave a steady, stable paycheck before it makes financial sense for you and your family. Unless, of course, there's toxic stuff going on and it's depleting your mental health and all the things, which I have definitely heard that too. But for many of the cases, a lot of the coaching that I do with moms initially is about how we can stay in an environment that currently drains us so that we can keep getting money out of the ATM and set ourselves up for future financial freedom with the business we're building. When we shift our mindset and actually start to focus on what we appreciate about our current role, instead of focusing just on all the frustrations, right? It shifts us from this, I have to get out, into I can leave when I'm ready on my own terms. I talk about a lot of other tools for this in episode 4. It's called How to Make Work Suck Less. So definitely check it out because it's so important that you're leaving on your own terms and are able to actually create and execute the exit plan and strategy. Hi, mom friends. If you've been thinking about starting a business, but you're not sure where to begin, or you can't seem to get yourself moving, I want to personally invite you to a free live class I'm hosting on December 10th called Unstuck. This class will help you finally get the clarity you've been missing, clarity about what you want, why you've been holding back, and what to focus on first so you can actually start your business in a way that feels simple and doable. If 2026 is the year you want to actually build the business you keep daydreaming about, this is where it starts. Save your seat at mom.jenna mom.jenna.coach/unstuck. That's mom.jenna.coach/unstuck. I can't wait to see you there. Now, if you're listening and you've already burnt it down and left your role because you couldn't take it anymore, that's okay too. You will just have to be extra intentional about not bringing tension and urgency into the next thing, into this new venture, into your business. But sometimes, especially when a job is toxic and mental health is suffering, like I said before, it might be necessary to leave before you're fully financially ready. All that being said, though, try out doing a rampage of appreciation for your current workplace, even if it feels impossible. The third situation that I want to talk about when the rampage of appreciation can be great is when motherhood feels like too much. Between the mental load, the holidays, the unpredictable routines, the meltdowns. Oh Lord, the meltdowns. Gosh, and the constant giving, your brain can start to scan for everything that's hard and can focus on everything that's hard. Not because anything is wrong, but because your brain just wants to protect you. And a rampage of appreciation doesn't necessarily erase the hard moments or the fact that motherhood is quite difficult and demanding, but it brings your nervous system back into balance. It helps you to see the moments of connection, the things you're doing well, the resources around you, maybe the parts of motherhood that feel meaningful, maybe the support you actually do have and not just always feeling unsupported. And this one is actually really big, and I'll digress a little bit because one of the most consistent thoughts I coach moms on is feeling unsupported. When we feel unsupported, we're actually more closed off to seeing and tapping into support that we do have. This is time and time again. So, a rampage of appreciation may be allowing yourself to see all the ways you are supported, opening up to a new perspective and focusing on all the things you have to appreciate helps you get to a better place where motherhood doesn't feel like too much, or even maybe just a glimpse of it not feeling like too much. Because when it feels like too much, we start to give up and act small. When we recognize all the ways we're actually crushing it, we continue to crush it in all the ways. Okay. And that's what I want for you. The fourth situation I'll talk about before diving into the tool itself, which is the rampage of appreciation, is when you're feeling discouraged about your business progress. And this is a really common one. Our thoughts might be filled with all the things that aren't happening, right? I should be farther along. I said I'd start this months ago and I haven't started yet. My idea isn't clear yet. I'm not taking enough action. What's wrong with me? A rampage of appreciation, what it will do is interrupt the shame spiral. It reminds you what is moving, what you have figured out, what you're already doing well. Maybe that is what skills or experience or strengths that you are bringing to the table, how much growth has already happened. It's so easy to focus on all the things that haven't happened, but the rampage of appreciation lets us connect with the things that have. This reconnects you with momentum. It builds momentum, which makes taking action easier, which creates more results. It's a beautiful, positive cycle. So, what is a rampage of appreciation? This is a technique from Abraham Hicks, and it's used to shift your emotional state, your mindset, your perspective, and it's meant to do that quickly. So, you pick one specific subject, like I talked about, maybe it's your job, but maybe it's your partner or your kids or your business, your home, your body, your time, whatever it is. And then you write down all the reasons you appreciate that thing. And you don't stop until you fill the page. I don't want reasons it's perfect, okay? Not reasons you should appreciate it, just real things. Big or small, it doesn't matter, but just that are already there. And as you write, something shifts. Your brain changes channels. You will start to focus on the things that give you energy, not just focusing on things that drain you. So have one page, one topic, where you write your chosen topic at the top, fill the page, don't analyze or filter, just let it flow. It honestly might be awkward at first, but if you keep going, clarity will open up. Again, Jermaine talked about this in episode 20, and she talked about using it to fall back in love with her job. So, absolutely check that out because she gives a lot of good insights and personal stories from that. She also talks about using it to reignite appreciation for her husband. And it was so powerful, her talking about that. So, let's talk about why this works. It resets your nervous system. All of us moms are experiencing stress on a day to day, minute to minute basis, and stress narrows your focus. Gratitude will expand it. During a rampage of appreciation, your nervous system moves from this fight or flight and into regulation. You breathe deeper, your shoulders drop, oh, your mind clears. You feel instant relief when you start to do this type of practice. It's similar to the common writing down like three things you're grateful for on a daily basis. It's like that, but on steroids. And it gets more into the body than just writing down three things you're grateful for. It's a rampage of appreciation. Okay. It's not just three things you're grateful for, it's an entire page of appreciation for a specific thing in your life that maybe you're struggling to find appreciation for. So it does something great to the nervous system. Also, it shifts your perspective and your interpretation of a circumstance. Your job will not magically change. I promise your kids don't magically calm down or start listening. Your to do list doesn't disappear, but you change. Your mindset shifts from I'm trapped to I have choices, I'm failing to I'm growing, I'm stuck to I'm supported, I'm a victim to everything happens for a reason, I'm behind to I'm building something. And that shift is so important. The third benefit I want to talk about is that your decision making improves. Okay. I talked about this a lot in last week's episode too, when talking about managing our mind to manage our time. But when you feel calm and grounded, you make better choices. You take more meaningful action. You follow through. You solve problems more easily, right? You step into this version of yourself that is closer to the version you want to be. Your business and your life will benefit directly from that. The last benefit I want to talk about has to do with really thinking about reconnecting you to your agency and resourcefulness. In motherhood, in corporate, and in entrepreneurship, it's so easy to forget how capable you really are. And a rampage of appreciation brings that memory back, right? You start to remember that you're resilient and that you can figure things out. Everything is figure outable, that you're smart and capable, and that you have support. Maybe it's not always available to you, but you have support, you have strengths, you have options. And we sometimes need to be intentional about reminding ourselves of those things. This is almost like emotional fuel. It creates emotional safety. And any change that we want to make is best from emotional safety. Appreciation helps your brain feel safe enough to think clearly, to dream bigger, and take action. And this is why the smallest shifts can create the biggest results. So, as you head into Thanksgiving, between the dishes and the travel and the family dynamics and the kids being off schedule, all things I am looking forward to say the least, I want you to give yourself the gift of one moment of appreciation, a rampage of appreciation. I want you to grab that piece of paper, pick a topic, and do your own little rampage of appreciation. This is a tool you can return to again and again, especially when the world around you feels loud or overwhelming. And if today's episode reminded you that you do want to move forward with your business, but you're not sure how to get unstuck and start taking action or how to make time for it or how to believe in yourself more consistently, I'd love for you to join my free webinar coming up on December 10th, Unstuck: How to Build the Business You Can't Stop Thinking About. We're going to talk about the exact reasons that intelligent, high achieving moms struggle to get started, why you might not be following through, even when you want this so badly, and what it actually takes to create the clarity, time, and momentum to build a business you love. It's going to be both honest and incredibly practical. You'll walk away feeling so much clearer, calmer, and capable. If you are enjoying the tools and topics on this podcast, this webinar is going to feel like the perfect next step in understanding your mind, your habits, and how to make your business dreams come to life. You can register using the link in the show notes. You can go to jenna.coach/80 or go directly to the registration page at mom.jenna, JENNA.coach/unstuck. UNSTUCK. I'd love to see you there. I'd love to support you there. And truly, I'm so grateful you're here. Have a warm, gentle, and loving Thanksgiving, friend. I will see you next week. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of How to Quit Your Job, a mom's guide to creating a life and business you love. If you want to learn more about how I can help you stop making excuses and start making moves, head on over to www.jenna.coach. I'll see you next week.